all in a massive overbet. All I know is that I'm at a meetup game, I have ace king, and I snap call.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 65 of Happy Face Hold'em. Thanks for being here. I'm Chuck, and man, we got a fun one for you today. We spent 3 days in Las Vegas, Nevada. We got to hang out with the one and only Eric from Fish Poker. We got to hang out with his manager, Richard. That was a blast. We got to hang out with BJ and Kieran from Close to Broke at the Meetup Game. We had Ben Deach come down to the Meetup Game and hang out with us, played some hands. Didn't get that one on film, but that's all right. And we also got to meet Harry B. Poker, who came down and played in the Meetup Game. Man, this was such a blast. We got Dex, a friend of the vlog, who did some rapping for us. And then we also get into a $1,000 pot with Harry B. And then we play a $500 pot with our favorite hand, 6-4 spades. Man, there's like 201 reasons that I love this city, but that's gonna be for another vlog. But hey, right before we get into it, one quick announcement. We're gonna be playing a $500 buy-in, $50,000 guaranteed tournament at Hollywood Park Casino on Sunday, October 17th at 10 a.m. Here's the details for it. I hope you guys come check it out. Come buy in, let's play together. It's unlimited rebuys is what I understand. Come check it out. Let's get into some action. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So hope to see you guys there. But without further ado, let's get into some hands from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Hey, here with Happy Face Hold'em, Shoutout To. I told him he the best guy. He never ever fold him. He go all in, money to spend. He never pretend. 2 hours and he go all in.
Here at the Sahara Casino on the north end of the Vegas Strip, we're playing a 1-3 no-limit hold'em game with a $500 buy-in cap, and that's what we're in for. And we look down at our first playable hand in the big blind, ace-king offsuit. There was a limper or two, so we want to isolate someone, and we make it 40 big ones to go. Well, in Vegas, that's about the cost of a good drink, so I guess it's not really that much. We filled 7 of the 8 tables in this room by the time the game wrapped up, so we had tons of fun, meeting so many people, and the button player was a really nice guy and decided to give us some action on this hand. We go heads up with 90 bucks up for grabs, and the flop comes 10, queen 4 with 2 spades. Isn't this just the shits? But we're not going to let a shitty flop for our hand dissuade us. We still have 2 overs, so we continuation bet. Honestly, hoping he limp called with something like 6-7 pre, but he pretty quickly decides to call, building this pot to $160 before seeing the turn. I imagine he's got at least a 10 or one of the flush or straight draws out there. This board is just ugly. I can only hope for a jack that's not a spade, but the deck thinks another queen is the better course of action. Now, with only 2 overs and a board with a flush draw, possible full house, straight draw, and no pairs to our holding, we check this one and the button checks behind. The river completes a king-jack straight and definitely could have boated up queen 9, or so I surrender and I check. The button thinks for just a few seconds before deciding on a sizing of $110. I'm sure he's seen Happy Face Hold'em before and knows I hate folding to large river bets, but I show discipline in this first hand and we lay it down. From +1 we get to pocket 6s and know this is a hand that we must raise, and we make it $15. The action folds to BJ from the Close to Broke family in the hijack, and he decides to call. Be sure to check out Close to Broke's vlog from this session that came out a few days ago. I'll link to it in the description down below. Everyone else decides to fold, and we have a $35 pot going heads up. The flop is yet again super ugly for us with King 10 Ace Rainbow, and the question is, did we learn to not donate from the last hand when we flopped literally 0 additional equity? And the answer is absolutely not, because you see, we didn't leave our balls in the car this time. Since we flew to Vegas, we had to bring them with us, and we c-bet this to a larger size of $20. Figuring if he didn't hit this, it should be an easy fold with middling pairs and suited connector type hands. But I've played with BJ before. He's a solid player with a super wide and splashy range, but shows up at the most unexpected times with monsters, and I'm afraid of monsters. So when he calls and this pot grows to $75, I'm pretty much done with this hand. The turn is a 7 of diamonds, lending us not even a sliver of equity, but we did graduate from Monsters University and learned to definitely check here. And BJ quickly checks behind. The river gets even better with the jack of clubs, putting a 4-liner to the straight on board. With our 6 pair, we're simply playing the board and check. While BJ considers his river move, we look back down at our cards just in case maybe they change to pocket queens, but no such luck, and we quickly fold to BJ's $40 river bet. In the next one, we see a suited ace from the cutoff, and we open the action to $15, and the player to my left, who's been extremely splashy, makes the quick call, and that brings in BJ from the small blind, so we'll be 3 ways with $50 in the pot for this hand. The flop comes 4-6 king and is quite good for us considering we'd hold all the 6-4 suited hands in this spot, but there's only 2 combos of that left, but we could rep all the kings here. But we check and the action checks through. The free turn card is the 9 of spades, And I show a really bad play here. After BJ checks to me, I bet $20. What am I really repping? A good thinking player may consider that I checked a paired king on a pretty dry flop, but we've all been drinking at this point. The button folds, and BJ smells something, and he reaches back for chips. But then he mucks, and we'll take down this little pot. Next we get dealt pocket jacks in the low jack, and we raise to $15. Have you heard the term cracking jacks from another vlogger? If you know who he is, we sit down with him right after this hand, so stay tuned for that. The hijack to my left is the only caller, and we go heads up to a flop with $35 up for grabs and see a pretty good flop of 9-7-5 rainbow. Holding an overpair that likely doesn't need much protection, we can target overcards and pairs like 6s and 10s and a few drawing hands, so we bet $15 hoping to keep most of his range in play, and he does happily make the call. With the pot at $65, we get basically a brick on the turn with the deuce of hearts. It brings in a backdoor heart draw, so I size up a bit to $45, and he calls rather quickly. The river is the 3 of hearts, and we have $155 in the middle. He's been a really splashy player, so narrowing his calling range to something like ace-9 or king-9 or pocket 10s, I go for a larger sizing again to the tune of $125, and without hardly blinking, he jams all in. What really makes sense here? Does he hold the happy face 6-4 hand, or has he slow played pocket aces or kings? Did he play 10-8 suited and river a flush? He didn't raise any streets, so I've already decided in my head he has ace-9 at best, and I snap call. But I'd like to know in the comments what you've put him on up to this point before you see the results. So pause for a moment and comment his holding and if you make the call or if you fold. He rolls over king 4 of hearts, indeed rivering the flush. Didn't see that one coming. Nice hand, young man. Nice hand. You are a fan of poker vlogs like I am. The reason I started a vlog. It's one of my favorites of all times with 133 videos in and 27,000 subscribers. Let me introduce you to the OG, Ben Deach. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Chuck. Nice turnout you guys got here at Sahara. I enjoyed what you guys do. The vlogger meetups, I haven't done many of them, but you guys have seemed to have gotten it down.
So Resorts World, I have not been there, and yeah, for Silver State sites, this guy definitely has the voice of an announcer. I mean, you definitely are good at what you do and you have the voice for it.
Well, thank you. That's what they tell me. I think it's mainly just a case of doing it so much that it just rounded into that. Because when I started out back in 2006 doing daily talk radio, no one ever said that. But then I just did a sheer amount of hours that was insane. I did 4 hours a day for years of talk radio, and I guess it just rounded into that. I'm not really sure. But I guess it just kind of works out. And amazingly, being a guy that's done years of talk radio, I did baseball play-by-play for our team, the Reno Aces, and the Nevada Wolfpack, the college in Reno. I did that. I've done television, and now I'm more well known as a damn poker vlogger than any of those things. All those things put together, I'm not as well known as I am doing these vlogs, and it's just pretty unbelievable. This goes to show, and you've experienced this as well. How many people are out there that love to play poker, and we're seeing that here at the Sahara tonight. I mean, it's just, Meetup Game. We got basically their entire room is full, and that's a testament to what you guys have done, and how popular these kind of videos are. And I'm just kind of along for the ride.
Yeah, that's why I'm here. So this is one of the guys that really got me inspired to do poker vlogs. So thanks, Ben. You probably don't know that. Been wanting to meet up with him for a while, so glad you're here and glad to finally actually meet you face to face.
And I appreciate that. Was there a moment when you saw me like totally screw up a hand or something, and you said, "Well, I can probably do better than this guy, so I'm going to start a channel myself"?
No, but every time, including tonight, as recent as tonight, that I look down at 8-3, I hear Octocrab in the back, playing it in my head, and I really want to play it, but I don't have the cojones to play it.
Well, you shouldn't, and neither should the guy that busted me with it, famously with his runner flush. But yeah, amazingly, that seems to be the hand that I'm most well known for, is the Octocrab.
So one of the things that my viewers don't know about me is I did talk radio back in the early days with Nick Vertucci. You may know Nick Vertucci.
Hustler?
Yeah, Nick used to be a guest on our show doing real estate investments. So kind of interesting. So I had a face for radio, is what they used to say.
Me too. And it's at this point people don't care as much. You know what they say about doing the vlogs is they say sound quality more important than video quality.
This has been great. I appreciate you coming out. Really glad to finally meet you.
Keep up the good work, Chuck.
You too, sir. And you guys make sure you check out Ben Deitch. I'm sure you've all seen his vlog, but in case you haven't, link down in the description below, and all the details are there. 27,000 subscribers. I aspire to reach that mark. You guys get me to 5,000. Take a minute, like this video, subscribe as I always ask you to do, and leave a comment down below. Thanks,
Cracks and jacks.
and cracking jacks. All right. Back to the table after chatting with Ben and looked down at ace-6 of diamonds from under the gun and raised to our standard $15 for this game. But I think this is a fold. Since being stacked in our last hand, we're rebuying for $240 and the button is eyeing that cash and raises to $45. It takes some players a while to realize there's been a 3-bet and to ultimately decide to muck their hands. Really takes them a long time. Until the action gets around to the big blind, who's sitting to my right. He's a Vegas local and grinding out some small stakes. He ponders his action for a bit, probably thinking if he should just jam, but when he elects on a flat call, I'm happy to continue since I'm closing the action and will be the cream in the middle of this Oreo as we go 3 ways to a flop with 135 in the pot. Before the flop hits, the big blind checks dark and we see 5-5 deuce rainbow hit the board, and we 2-check and play in flow to the button. And interesting, it checks all the way around. We turn top pair with the 6 of spades. The big blind takes what feels like forever to decide what he wants to do. The only thing taking longer right now in this moment is for another drink to arrive at the table. After a considerable amount of time thinking, he jams for a pot-sized bet of $130. And I quickly fold, assuming he has the range advantage all day and night long. He should have all the 5s, 2 pairs, and even 3 4s. The button also folds, and he's nice enough to show us ace-king for the vlog. Guess we were way ahead. Y'all know I'm a huge fan of 6-4 suited, and we've only played it 3 times on the vlog, and we're 66% with it. This hand is quite similar to the first time I played it at Commerce Casino on video. I'll put a card to that video up top for you. Under the gun had straddled, and only the button called, so wanting to just take it down now, I put in a raise to $35, figuring that'll get the job done. Well, I should have known better, because I've already told you about the splashy player to my left. He makes the call, and the button folds, so we'll be heads up with about $75 in the pot, and see quite a good flop for our actual hand with 8-7-3 2 spades. So let's see. We flopped a flush draw, a gutter ball, and a gutter ball straight flush draw. We're kind of feeling like...
Yeah, that was dope. Dude, I've never done that before. That's awesome, dude.
So with all that equity, we're happy to put out extra money into this pot, and we go with a sizing of $45 or 2/3 of this pot. Now, I have no idea what's in this player's range, like no idea at all, and he takes longer than usual to decide before ultimately making the call. So we go to a turn card with a growing pot of $165. The dealer cuts out a little change for our friend and peels off the 9 of clubs on the turn, providing us no help at all. But we're keeping the pedal to the metal with our 6-4, and this time we bet out 125. With zero hesitation, he jams for 350 effective. Now what? Well, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Unless, of course, you put it in a YouTube video. Although this is a clear fold, what fun would that be? So of course, I make the snap call. With a pot of now $865, we have some table talk.
I need a miracle now. So do I.
With that, we get what we believe is our miracle. It's not quite the Immaculate Mary, but still a very pretty lady, the Queen of Spades, completing our flush, which I announce I have. His jaw basically hits the table and he says, "So that's how you get there?" Then comments he had us beat and rolls over a 9. We improved to 75% with our favorite hand on the vlog and scooped this nice pot. Moving on to the next one, we had a button straddle on. In an interesting development, the under the gun player open jams for $78. The action folds to us, and we see a premium ace-king in the cutoff. I consider flatting and giving our splashy, now pretty tilted player on the button to our left, give him a chance to enter the pot. But I elect in this case to overjam, so I can isolate. I'd rather play this heads up. Our tilted splashy friend, he had his own plan in mind, and he 2-jams for 188. So, 3 ways, all in, for about 450. I could tell you about the hand, but I'd rather just take you to the table as it played out.
Oh. You have a pocket bear? What do you got?
No, I can't show it.
Get the camera. Alright, main pot's right. You guys are still playing for the rest of that. Spades!
aces? Damn.
Everybody loves chop pot, right? Me and you do. She doesn't. We do.
We scoop half a 78 and turn it over to Harry B. Poker for the last hand we played in the night before heading out. Thanks for getting this, Harry.
As the vloggers are alternating tables, Happy Face is now welcome sitting at my table. We see under the gun open in this next hand, and we look down at Ace King offsuit. It folds around at Happy, who's directly on my right in the small blind, and he decides to make the call. The under the gun opener player, he's definitely one of the stronger players at the table, but regardless, Ace King is just a little bit too strong to flat here, especially going multi-way. So I raise it up to $50. I don't think I need to go too big because this line, it already looks pretty strong. To my surprise, the under the gun player quickly gets out of the way, and I expect Happy Face to get out of the way majority of the time here just because he's playing a pretty passive line so far. But to my surprise, Happy decides to gamble for it all. He puts in $500 all in a massive overbet. That being said, I really don't know what hand he's repping here, but all I know is that I'm at a Meetup Game, I have Ace King, and I snap call. Right when I call, Happy says, oh no, which is great news to us. We decide to flip over our cards, and he has Ace Queen, so we're in the best shape possible going out to a run out. Unfortunately for us, there's a queen right on the flop, and we are drawing to only one out. The turn's a 5, which brings us a gutter for a chop, but unfortunately we break out the river and lose this pot. So far in this night, nothing has really gone for us, and it was late in the night. We were about to all go eat. As Happy Face is cashing out, I decide to wave my chips goodbye because I'll most likely not see them until next Meetup Game.
All right, guys, that wraps this one up. We were in for $740. We were out for $942, so we profited $202 in this Meetup Game. Thanks for everybody that came out. Dex for rapping, and gosh, just everybody that was there. Met Jason, just really met some really cool people. Went out and had a great dinner, and just thank you all for coming out. So anyways, we played for 4 hours and 11 minutes, profited $202. I'll put all the numbers right here. Not all that exciting, but what is exciting is this was my first Meetup Game positive cash. So gotta love that. Just love Vegas, love the vibe there. Makes me happy. It's my happy place. And what else, guys? Don't forget, check out the Happy Face Hold'em merchandise at happyfacehold'em.com. There's a link right there for you. We got the Charlie card protectors, we have wristbands, we have 6 stickers, and we dropped our hoodies, so go check those out. And I'll be playing in a $50,000 guaranteed tournament at Hollywood Park Casino next Sunday, October 17th. So I hope you come out and railbird me. Is that what they call it? Rail? I don't know. I don't know what they call it. Anyways, I hope you come out and support. I'll be there with Think Blue Poker, and I'm sure some of our other friends will be there. Hope to see you guys there. And until next time, don't forget to wash your hands.